Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial. In today's video, we will be explaining you how to install and run DeepSeek R1 on your machine, an advanced AI model on Ubuntu 24.04. I will guide you the step by step on how to install it, use it for your own task and troubleshooting any potential issue along the way. Before we begin, let's quickly review the minimum system requirement for running DeepSeek R1. Operating system Ubuntu 24 need to be installed on your system. RAM at least 16 GB minimum required for smaller models and 32 GB plus for large model. And the storage minimum 20 GB if you're using DeepSeek R1 1.5B version. Smaller models 20 GB is sufficient. A stable internet connection is essential for downloading dependencies and model. For the installation, we will be using smaller model DeepSeek R1 colon 1.5B. I will show you on the browser. We will be installing 1.5B. This version we will use it for this tutorial. If your system meets these requirements, you are ready to proceed. Before installing DeepSeek R1, we need to set up Ollama. But what exactly is Ollama and why it is necessary? Ollama is lightweight tool that simplifies the process of managing and running advanced AI models like DeepSeek R1. It automatically handles the installation, dependency and update for us. Without Ollama, we have to manage all of this manually, which can be complex and time consuming. Ollama makes things easier by providing simplified installation, means there will not be any um, need to manage dependency manually. Ollama does it all for you, and a straight way to interact with AI model, and it keeps the model up to date without manual intervention. It also ensures the models are optimized and secure. To install Ollama, you need to open terminal. Let me open the terminal. Let me zoom this for clear visibility. We will copy the command from here. It's ollama.com download. Let me give a overview for this website. Ollama.com download Linux. This page provides the instructions and download for the Ollama tool, which lets you to run large language models on Linux. And the GitHub link for the DeepSeek R1. This GitHub repository hosts the code and resources for the DeepSeek R1 large language model. And the last, this is a library page, simplifies the process of downloading and running the DeepSeek R1 model using Ollama. So let's go to the terminal. Here we need to copy the command for the installation of Ollama. Copy this, go to the terminal. I will switch to root. Let me clear the screen and paste the command. This command will automatically download and install Ollama on your system. This process might take a few minutes depending on your internet connection. Once the installation is completed, you would see success message. I will pause the video. Once this is done, I will resume it back. As you can see on my screen, Ollama installation is completed, but there is one warning: no NVIDIA or AMD GPU detected. This is because Ollama noticed that on my machine or on my system compatible NVIDIA or AMD graphic card is not available or it has not detected, so it will use computer CPU instead of GPU, as it is GPU is not detected. This means AI will work, but it will be much slower. If you do not have a compatible GPU, you might need to update your drivers. So as of now, I will continue the installation. As this tutorial is regarding the installation, we will complete that. So now the installation is done. So let's verify the Ollama has been installed correctly or not. To check Ollama is installed or not, run the command Ollama hyphen version. If you see the version number of Ollama, it means that it has been installed successfully. If not, make sure the installation process completed without errors. In case of any issue, try running the script again or check your internet connection while running the command or script once again. So now that the Ollama is installed, let's download and set up DeepSeek R1. This is the actual AI model which will be running on my system. Since we are working with limited resource on these systems, we will choose the smaller model to ensure smooth performance. Instead of larger model 14B model, we will use 1.5B. I will show you on the browser. Instead of using 14B, it comes with a 9 GB. I will use 1.5B. It has 1.1 GB. It will occupy 1.1 GB on my system. So to install 1.5B model, you need to run this command on the terminal. I think command has not been copied. This is the command. Run this command. When you run this command, Ollama run tells Ollama to manage the model. The model is 1.5B and the DeepSeek hyphen R1 colon 1.5B, it specifies that you want to run 1.5B version of the DeepSeek R1 model, which is smaller and optimized for system with limited resource. This command will start the DeepSeek R1 model. If it's your first time running this model, it may take few moments to download the required files and initialize the environment. Once the model is running, you will see the message indicating the model is up and ready. At this point, it is successfully running in the background and ready for the use. As you can see, it is showing 1.1 GB. Out of that, 200 MB has been downloaded. 3 to 4 MB per second, the download speed is there for my system. So this will take some time. I will pause the video and resume back once this is done. As you can see on my screen, the model is running now. Now that the model is running, let's test it by sending a query. Run the following command like to interact with DeepSeek R1. You can ask a question. Let me check this first. When I run a query, what is the weather like today? The model thinks it, and here it is telling me to take an on real-time information online. So like this, it will respond. You will receive a response from the model. This response will vary based on the complexity of the query and AI model capability. DeepSeek R1 processes your query and returns an answer. The model output could range from simple responses like weather information to a complex data retrieval task depending on the query. Using the DeepSeek R1 model in real-world use case. Now that the model is installed, let's explore some practical use case where you can put DeepSeek R1 to a work. DeepSeek R1 can quickly summarize the long documents, saving your time by extracting only the important points. For example, you have a long technical reports on a machine learning. You can query DeepSeek R1, like summarize the key finding on NLP techniques from these documents. Like this, you can ask it with a query, what is DevOps? Like this, you can send a query. It will respond in a no time. As my system is not having a GPU, so it will respond little bit slow. But as I see the process and the output which I received from the DeepSeek R1, it is too fast. The summary of this latest data is getting printed. It is nicely explaining each and everything, like key activities of DevOps team. First it explains what is DevOps, and then now it is explaining the benefits of the DevOps. It will give a detailed information step by step. So this is the end of this my query. What I have asked, what is DevOps? So for that, DeepSeek has given me this much of information. DeepSeek can assist in automating customer support by answering a common customer queries based on your FAQs or a product documents. You want to automate a response for product related questions, you can use DeepSeek R1. Like if you want to ask like how do I reset my password? Assume that this is an example. First it will think and it will respond you in no time. This model provides a clear and step-by-step guide on resetting the password based on your stored knowledge base. DeepSeek can also be used in research assistant to quickly find the relevant information across multiple sources without manually shifting through them. If you are researching advancement in AI, you can ask what is the most recent advancement in AI in 2025. Advancements in AI 2025. DeepSeek will return a summary of latest breakthrough in AI, helping you to stay up to date in your research area. You can see how it is detailing the response. Like this, you can run DeepSeek R1 on CPU works, but it can be slow, especially with the large models. If you are handling more complex tasks or need faster performance, you can enable GPU acceleration. Why GPU acceleration is required? GPUs are optimized for parallel processing, making them ideal for AI workloads. Tasks that takes minutes on a CPU can be completed in a second with a GPU. To enable GPU acceleration, you need a compatible GPU and the necessary drivers. Check Ollama's document for detailed instructions. I will share all the links in the description. So let's see some of the troubleshooting steps. If you encounter any issue during Ollama installation or while running DeepSeek R1, here are some common troubleshooting tips. First is a command not found. You may get that error. Ensuring that Ollama has been added to your path. If the command is not found, try restarting your terminal or rerunning the installation script. And the next issue might be a permission issue. If you run into a permission error, you may need to run the script with sudo to grant the necessary permissions. If the download for DeepSeek R1 is taking too long or fails, verify your internet connection. If the connection is unstable, try again when it is more reliable. If you see out of memory errors when running the model, consider switching to a smaller model like DeepSeek R1 1.5b, which is we have installed in our system. as it requires less system memory compared to large models. Consider switching to a smaller model like DeepSeek 1.5b or enabling GPU acceleration. Free up space on your system or install the model on an external drive. Ensure you have a stable internet connection for downloading models. Now that you have a DeepSeek R1 running, you can use it for a variety of tasks. The model supports more advanced use cases like document search, code analysis, and more. Depending on your needs, you can customize queries and use the model for your AI driven applications. If you want to explore more advanced features of DeepSeek R1, you can experiment with additional options like running larger models or fine tuning the models for specific tasks. But always keep in mind that larger models require more system resource. And that's it. You have successfully installed and run DeepSeek R1 on Ubuntu 24.04 using Ollama. You are now ready to run powerful queries and explore the capabilities of DeepSeek R1. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tutorials. If you have any questions or need further help, drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Happy exploring.